Okay, testing. Okay, so I think my mic is okay, slide okay, camera okay. Okay, so today is already 8:01. Okay, so I will start the class now. So today we will continue the chapter 10. Chapter 10, reproduction, development and growth. Okay, so last week we already finished up until the first topic about the sexual reproduction in human until the organogenesis, right? So last week we already covered up the structure of sexual organ in human, and also spermatogenesis, oogenesis, implantation, fertilisation, gastrulation, and also organogenesis. So for today we will finish up the remaining topic about the sexual reproduction in human lah. Okay, so we will continue about the placenta. So if you still remember that after when you are okay. So if you still remember that after the process of the gastrulation, you will undergo organogenesis, right? And then the trophoblast will be developed into the placenta. Okay, so I think everyone should know what is placenta, right? Because I think in SPM you also learn. So the basic concept of placenta is that it is the maternal organ, that unique for the female, for the mother, to provide the nutrient, and also provide the nutrient, oxygen, and also other substance to the fetus. So it is as the interconnection between the mother and also fetus. So all the nutrient, oxygen gas will be obtained from mother through this placenta, the special organ. And similarly, the waste product they produce in the by the fetus, like carbon dioxide gas or other any organic waste product like urea, all these will be excluded into the mother part through the placenta too. So placenta is very important organ, in the pregnancy lah, for both mother and also fetus. So I already mentioned it is the organ, this shaped organ that contain both embryonic and maternal blood vessels. So you see this diagram. So after you already pregnancy, and after you already go through the gastrulation and also organogenesis, fetus will be produced lah. You will have a fetus like the fetus. So you see that the placenta is located at here. It is located at the wall of the uterus. So it is one type of dish organ that containing embryonic and also maternal blood vessel. So you see this diagram. So this one is your uterus wall. So this one is the upper part. The more thicker blood vessel is the mother's blood vessel. So red color is uterus and blue color is vein. Okay, so normally the placenta is developed from the trophoblast when the implantation is completed. Okay, so normally is at the second month of the pregnancy lah. And then the maternal portion of placenta will supply nutrient and provide immune protection and also oxygen to your fetus. So normally all the oxygen and also protect the fetus and also provide oxygen gas to your fetus. And then another one is also, of course, if you want to apply nutrient or also gas, of course your fetus also able to produce the metabolic waste and also carbon dioxide. So all these metabolic waste in fetus will be excreted out through the maternal body. So it will transported from the fetus part to the mother part through the placenta too. And then also it provides blood, right? So all the transport actually is through the blood. So normally blood flow from fetus to placenta through the umbilical arteries. So you see this diagram. Umbilical arteries and umbilical veins is the fetal portion of the placenta, meaning that it is the blood vessel that connected to the fetus one. So the blood from the fetus, blood from the fetus to the placenta is through the umbilical arteries, and conversely, inversely, the placenta, the blood from placenta to fetus is through the umbilical vein. Okay, so this one you need to remember it, know it lah. And also, yeah, as all the material exchange like diffusion, transport, all these can be occur between this blood capillary. And then the maternal blood will enter the placenta by arterioles and flow through the blood pool in endometrium. And then the also waste product and will refuse into the venule from the blood pool. Okay, so this is a general structure of the placenta. Okay, next we go to the function of placenta. So just now I already mentioned, right? Actually already mentioned before, it provide nutrient, provide oxygen gas, and also gases exchange and material exchange, nutrient exchange. So yeah, I just repeat. So normally the most important one is it able to separate the maternal blood vessel and also fetal capillary. Because you need to know that the blood type like ABO blood type in the mother and also fetus may be differ. So it need to separate it so that it will prevent the agglutination occur when the blood type is differ. You will still remember that if blood A and the patient receive the wrong blood, like if you are blood A people, you receive blood B people blood, you will die immediately. Why? Because agglutination will be occur and your immune response will be fight the blood B lah. So you need to separate it, so prevent the agglutination occur when the blood type of the mother and fetus are differ. Okay, next next is about the blood pressure. Yeah, so you will remember that the blood pressure for mother is very high compared to blood pressure in fetus. Because fetus is just early development only, right? So it does not it does not require the high blood pressure like us. So the blood pressure in the fetus is very low, and then the the thickness of blood capillary in fetus is also quite thin compared to the adult one. So if the blood capillary for mother and the baby for fetus are connected to each other, the blood pressure for the mother will able to burst the fetal capillaries. It will able to destroy or break down the capillaries of the fetus. So it need to separate it by using the placenta. So in placenta you see that the the capillary between the mothers and also the fetus are totally separated, so that it can prevent the high blood pressure for the mother's part to destroy the capillaries in the fetus lah. Okay, and then also, yeah, this one I already mentioned lah. Blood type may be different, so to prevent the agglutination and also prevent the harmful bacteria and toxin enter the fetus. So it like a barrier, one type, the first barrier defense toward the fetus. So if you need to know that in fetus, the fetus immune response is not like human, like the adult. The immune response is very wonderful like human one. So the fetus require the protection from the mother. So the mother, the placenta, can provide the barrier to the bacteria and also toxin. And also prevent chemical reaction that occur in mother's blood that will harm the fetus. And normally in 10 weeks of the pregnancy, the placenta will cover the role of corpus luteum to secrete estrogen and progesterone. So this one is the new things that you need to know. If you still remember that, if you know that in menstruation cycle, I already mentioned that if got fertilization process, corpus luteum will not degenerated and it will able to secrete the estrogen and progesterone. But this one, the corpus luteum will not maintain its structure forever for along the pregnancy. So it will degenerated during 10 weeks of pregnancy, and then this function, the function of the corpus luteum, will be recovered back from the placenta. The placenta will cover the function of corpus luteum to secrete the estrogen and progesterone. So this later I will explain it in more detail about the hormone during pregnancy. But this one is the one of the fact lah, one of the function of the placenta you need to know. And then also placenta also can secrete the human placenta lactogen HPL. This one is to promote the growth of mammary gland for lactation. This one is to produce the milk lah, breast milk. And then placenta also protect the fetus against the infection and maternal disease. Okay, and then the antibody that secreted that be produced in mother can pass through the placenta and then go to the fetus to ensure that the body contained with the passive immunity lah. So this is one type of passive immune response which that the immunity is coming from the mother's one. Okay. So these are all the placenta functions. So you need to know lah, because I think got 1 year it come out with you need to discuss about explain about the structure and also function of placenta. So yeah, you need to know lah. Okay, next I will proceed to the extra embryonic membrane. Okay, so if you still remember that after the gastrulation process, you will produce 4 membrane, right? 4 membrane, right? One amnion and amnion, umbilical cord, yolk sac, and also allantois. So these are all the extra embryonic membrane that will be produced after the gastrulation process. Okay, so we need to know what are they, and normally you need to know the role of them in terms of pregnancy and in terms of protection of the fetus. Okay, so the first one is about chorion. Okay, so normally chorion actually is the fetal portion of the placenta. So it is actually one type of placenta, but it is in the fetal portion. So if you still see that this one is placenta, right? All these actually is placenta, but in fetus there are specific terms we call as chorion. So actually the function is totally same as the placenta. What the function in placenta especially same inside the chorion, because it is just a fetal portion of placenta only. So it is also developed from trophoblast, but most importantly is the structure of the chorion is chorionic release structure, meaning that if you see this diagram not very clear, but actually it is like the chorionic release structure. There are many like a finger project like structure like this one. Dia ada satu-satu macam cabang-cabang dekat sini punya. Ada banyak cabang dekat sini punya. Tapi ini structure tak kita lah. You can refer to other book. You search Google search about the chorion release structure. They will show you. Dia ada banyak-banyak cabang dekat sini punya. Okay. So why you want to this kind of structure? Because you want to increase the surface area of exchange of substance between the fetus and mother. And then the main function, of course, it is play the role of exchange of substance lah. Any substance like oxygen, gaseous exchange, nutrient, also remove your waste product. Okay, so yeah, so this is the basic structure of the chorion and function of the chorion. Okay, next is about the amnion. Okay, so normally you see this structure, chorion is actually the outermost layer that is connected to the placenta one. But amnion is this blue color one. blue color one. So actually it is the space, provide the space to the fetus for development. So actually it's provide the space. So normally it is enclosed entire the embryo. So it is a key role to protect the embryo too. So it is actually serve as a protective cushion that absorbs shock and prevent the amniotic membrane from sticking to the embryo. So it actually protect the shock. So it also can secrete the amniotic fluid that fill the space between the embryo and embryo. Embryo we know as amniotic cavity lah. So all of this is amniotic cavity. It containing the fulfilled with the amniotic fluid. So what are these? If you see the drama, when the woman want to take a birth, you will see the human will secrete the liquid, right? The white colorless liquid. So this one is we call as amniotic fluid lah. It is not a urine, but this one is it's not a urine, but this one we call as amniotic fluid. This is the signal where the woman want to take a birth already. The baby is already want to come out from the mother's body. So when the amniotic fluid is coming out, this is a very dangerous process, emergency process. You need to immediately take that woman or your mother, go to the hospital immediately to get a birth process. Okay. Next is about the allantois. Okay, so actually allantois is the structure of the that cover the umbilical cord. So umbilical cord. So it is an outgrowth of developing digestive tract. So it is at the stomach. So if you see your body, see your stomach, you see got one hole inside on the middle of your stomach, right? So this one is because of the allantois. So it is an outgrowth. It will connected from your stomach connected to the placenta, to the mother's one. So actually inside the allantois, it containing the umbilical blood vessel. So it is a place where it is a very key organ, key structure that provide the interconnected structure between the fetus and also mothers. So it will accumulate the small amount of urine that produced by the fetal kidney, and it will give rise to produce the urinary bladder. So this is a later function, and also it containing the umbilical blood vessel. So this one is the place where the doctor will cut it down. It will cut it down the umbilical, the allantois after the birth lah. So you will see the drama, or you see the pregnancy video. You will found that when the baby is coming out, it will got satu pipe, right? Satu pipe that connected to our stomach and also the woman uterus. And later, doctor will use the scissors, the special scissors to cut it down. So this one cut it down. So this one we call the cut one. The doctor cut part is we call as allantois. So this one will be cut down after the baby is already coming out from the mother's. Okay, because the baby now is not require the nutrient and the gases for the mother now. So the baby can start to survive themselves. Okay, next is about the yolk sac. Okay, so yolk sac is the very minor structure. In this you see this yellow color one, yolk sac. It is parallelly connected to the allantois, but normally it will normally enclose the yolk and then slowly digest it and make it available to the embryo. So the yolk sac normally is connected to the embryo by a yolk stud and develop even in mammalian embryo that have little or no yolk. Okay, so normally if the further development, the yolk sac will be disappear lah, and it is the first embryonic membrane to be appear and containing the blood vessel, and the main function is to blood cell formation. All the blood cell, your leukocyte, erythrocyte is coming from the yolk sac. Okay. Okay, so that's all for the extra embryonic membrane. Now we go to the role of the hormone that happening during the pregnancy. So there are many hormones. So one of the hormone that you already know is about the one of the hormone that two hormone that you already know is oestrogen and also progesterone. Estrogen and also progesterone. These two hormones are very important during pregnancy too, because you already know their function, right? The main function is to maintain the thickness of the endometrium wall. So this is the main function, but actually there are many functions too. So yeah, so there are total 6 hormones involved during your pregnancy. Progesterone and also estrogen, I don't need to tell lah. Another 4 hormone is about human chorionic gonadotropin hormone (HCG), and then oxytocin, fetal adrenal corticotropic hormone (ACTH), and also relaxin. So these 6 hormones are very important during your pregnancy. So there are one graph you need to know. This graph. So this graph is the relationship graph between the HCG and also estrogen and also progesterone. So these 3 hormones. Okay. So you see that when the progesterone and estrogen actually during the pregnancy menstrual cycle, if the fertilization is maintained, actually estrogen and progesterone is very high already. But you refer that when you go to the near the end of the pregnancy, the final stage of pregnancy, you will see that progesterone and estrogen level will be increased very high. It will increase more progesterone and also estrogen. And then you refer that HCG, it only appear when during early stage of the pregnancy only, and then after that it will decrease out. So you will need to know what are they. Okay, so we go to the function. So the function of the HCG is actually secreted by trophoblast. Either trophoblast or chorion, two process is to present the autolysis of corpus luteum and stimulate the maintenance and development of endometrium wall. Yeah, this the place to this hormone is play the role to prevent the corpus luteum to degenerate. Because you will still remember that after the menstruation, if got fertilization, your corpus luteum will not be degenerated. Why? Because of this hormone, HCG. This hormone can maintain your structure of corpus luteum. And then why the corpus luteum is degenerated after if no fertilization occur because no HCG hormone. So because of the presence of HCG hormone, so that your corpus luteum still can maintain its structure, so that it can maintain the function to secrete the progesterone and estrogen to maintain your development and also thickness of the endometrium wall. So normally it is occur in the very earliest stage. So normally it's first 2 months lah. So after the first 2 months, placenta is formed already, right? Placenta is developed from the trophoblast too. Once the placenta is already formed, so placenta will take over the function of the corpus luteum to secrete estrogen and progesterone, so that the corpus luteum now is useless. You already, the mother don't need the corpus luteum anymore, so it will be degenerated. So the HCG hormone will be declined. So that is why that after the 10 months, so you see that during the 4th month, 4th week after a month, your HCG hormone is very high, is in the optimum condition. But after the 10th week, when the placenta is already formed, your HCG hormone starting to decline already, because your placenta start to secrete progesterone and estrogen. So your HCG hormone is useless anymore, does not you require it anymore, so that it will decline. So your corpus luteum automatically will starting to degenerate. So this is the main function of HCG, but there are also other functions. HCG also stimulate the entry of amino acid into the embryo. And also it stimulate the development of mammary gland too, and also it will stimulate the glucose and lipid metabolism in the mother. So that's all for HCG. And another one is also estrogen. So for estrogen and progesterone, the main function I already mentioned is to maintain the thickness and also development of the endometrium wall. But besides that, there are also other functions you need to know too. So this one is very famous question that already asked in essay question about the function of the hormone during pregnancy. One of the function is estrogen. So if you want to write out the function, these are all the functions. So besides that, I already mentioned is about the thickness of the endometrium wall. Besides that, you need to ensure about this. So it can induce and regulate the contraction of uterine muscle fiber. And also this regulation will stimulate the secretion of oxytocin. So normally these two is already the very end, the final stage of the pregnancy. We will refer this when we go to the parturition, meaning the birth process from the mother. But you need to know that uterine muscle fiber, contraction of uterine muscle is very important during pregnancy. We will know that if you go to pregnant, you see the drama. I think you see drama, right? Where the woman want to take a birth. Painful is one of the important things. And why is painful because you need to provide the space for the uterine muscle to contract. The contraction of uterine muscle for now during the parturition process is very high intensity one, because you need to push out your baby from the uterus out from the body. So uterine muscle is very important. Contraction of uterine muscle is very important. So that's why that estrogen level is you need to high. And then oxytocin is another hormone that I will explain it. So estrogen will stimulate the secretion of oxytocin. So it is a relationship lah. And also it responds to suckle by newborn. So estrogen level will change, cause the hypothalamus signal the anterior pituitary gland to secrete prolactin hormone. So normally this one is already very final stage because estrogen were able to secrete stimulate the pituitary gland to secrete prolactin hormone. Okay, another one is stimulate the production of enzyme to break down the collagen fiber in the cervix wall to make your cervix wall more flexible lah. And then it also stimulate the uterine muscle fiber to produce connexin, one type of protein, form gap junction between the cell to allow your muscle fiber contract together in the coordinated way during the birth. So this is about the uterine muscle to produce one gap junction so that the uterine muscle can be contract in a coordinated way. And they also stimulate the development of uterine wall. So this I don't need to mention. And increase the ATP formation inside the uterine muscle. And they stimulate the growth of mammary gland. And another function is to inhibit the secretion of FSH, LH, and also prolactin during the early stage. This one secret prolactin hormone is a final stage. But in the initial stage, your prolactin hormone is inhibited. Another one is about the progesterone. So normally it's increase the production of mucus in the cervix to form a plug that protect against infection. So it protect the infection inside in the cervix lah. Okay, and also encourage the growth of placenta in the maternal part, and then increase the mother's breast and also uterus, and inhibit ovulation and also menstruation. So inhibit also the FSH and prevent the ovulation and stimulate the growth of mammary duct cell, and also prevent the contraction of the uterus. So this one is very important during the final stage. So you refer to this graph, you see that at the final stage, progesterone will be decline during the parturition stage. But estrogen is still increased, but progesterone is decreased. Because high progesterone level will prevent contraction of uterus. So during the birth, during parturition, you should contract your muscle. Your uterus need to contract, but due to high level progesterone, it will inhibit our contraction. So that is like the make confused. So at the final stage, your progesterone level will be declined. So that is why that you see this graph, the progesterone will decline at final stage. You see that your progesterone initial is higher than estrogen, but when it go to final stage, although it is increased, but at final it will decrease. It will starting to decrease because it need to prevent the uterine. You need to prevent the uterine wall for contraction. Give the route that for the uterine wall for contraction. So another one is oxytocin. So this hormone oxytocin is stimulated when you are in very final stage of the pregnancy. So normally this one is during the birth. At the end of the final stage, oxytocin level was starting to increase, and then during the parturition or birth process, the oxytocin level will be at the optimum condition, will be at the maximum. So what is meaning that? So this is one type of the positive feedback mechanism. So normally in human, in SPM, you only feel negative feedback, right? Like blood pressure regulation, thermal regulation, and also osmotic regulation, blood glucose regulation. All these are negative feedback mechanism, right? And also include breathing mechanism. All them are negative feedback. You are very rarely heard about positive feedback. So positive feedback is very occur inside the human. So one of the example that is occur in human is during the birth process, parturition. So oxytocin will induce the positive feedback mechanism. So you see this graph. This graph is very famous graph because last year, 2023 ulangan, totally MPM copy and paste this graph only. Copy and paste this structure. I think it's coming out in structure question. Copy and paste. No, totally copy and paste. This diagram is extracted from the Campbell book, and MPM totally copy and paste this structure. And copy and paste, and then it will coming out lah. What is A, what is B, what is C, what is D, like that lah. All these. Okay. So oxytocin, you see that at the final stage, you need to remember oxytocin is at final stage only. At the initial and the middle stage of the pregnancy, no oxytocin. But only at higher level, final stage of the pregnancy, oxytocin was starting to secrete. So oxytocin will trigger by the high level of estrogen. So I already mentioned that high level of estrogen at the final stage, it will increase. So it will trigger the formation of oxytocin. So the main function of oxytocin will stimulate the further uterine contraction during the birth. So oxytocin will cause the contraction of the smooth muscle of myometrium and increase the power of contraction. And this contraction will cause the cervix dilate and chorion and amniotic rupture, so that amniotic fluid is released from the cervix. So that is why that. So if you still remember that chorion and amniotic is the outermost layer of the baby one. At the outermost layer containing chorion, the fetus portion of placenta, and also amniotic that protect the embryo. But due to the presence of oxytocin, and it will cause the contraction of myometrium wall, so that your chorion and amniotic structure will be ruptured. So since no protection anymore no cover anymore for the amniotic fluid, so your amniotic fluid will be released out. So this is one of the signal to give the woman and also public people that this woman want to birth already. The baby want to come out already. So and also there are also the stress receptor in the wall of a cervix in the uterus are stimulated. So the wall of the cervix will be more flexible and produce strong uterine contraction. So this will trigger the induction of parturition. So you see this diagram. So I already mentioned Oxytocin will stimulate uterus contraction, and then this stimulate uterus contraction, it will provide a positive feedback mechanism to ensure that posterior pituitary gland secrete more oxytocin. More oxytocin. So it will like a positive feedback. It will stimulate, or when it stimulate uterus, it will starting to stimulate more and more oxytocin. So it is a positive feedback. So also stimulate placenta to make prostaglandin. So this is another hormone. This hormone is also play the role for contraction of uterus. So it also provide a positive feedback. When contraction is occur, it will cause the placenta to stimulate more prostaglandin, and then repeat the process again and again. Also, similarly, this uterine contraction also can cause the mother cell to produce more and more oxytocin. So this is one type of positive feedback. Positive feedback meaning that it will enhance and amplify the action. Negative feedback is when there are something happen, then there are one action happening, it will inhibit the origin action one. But positive feedback, when there are one action, it will enhance or amplify the action again and again until the process is stopped. Until there are no uterus contraction anymore, so this process will stop. If not, when there are uterus contraction again, it will continue this process again and again. Okay, so this is one of the example of positive feedback. So normally in question, so maybe in essay question, it will coming out. Want you to give the example about the positive feedback. One of the example is this. Positive feedback in labor or in parturition. You need to elaborate this. Okay, the final hormone is about the ACTH, fetal adrenocorticopic hormone. I think it's very long. Very long. Fetal adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH. So in essay question, if you want to write this, you need to write in full form first. Or in structural question, you cannot write short form. If you want to name it, you need to write full name. Fetal adrenocorticotropic hormone. Okay, so normally this one is high secretion by anterior pituitary gland before birth. Also before birth. So it stimulates the development of adrenal cortex and result in the increase of cortisol secretion necessary for fetal lung maturation. And also stimulate the adrenal gland to secrete corticosteroid and cause the placenta into the maternal circulation. And it decreases the level of progesterone and result in an increase of secretion of prostaglandin. Ini. That is one of the reasons why your progesterone level is decreased. Because you need to know that high level of progesterone will inhibit uterine wall contraction. So during birth, your progesterone cannot too high. So how to decline it? ACTH. ACTH will stimulate the adrenal gland to secrete one hormone we call as corticosteroid hormone. And this hormone will cause the placenta into the maternal circulation, and this hormone will decrease your level of progesterone. And then this one will result increase your secretion of prostaglandin. So I already mentioned, right? Prostaglandin will be inhibited by the progesterone. So when your progesterone level is decreased, so it will stimulate the secretion of prostaglandin, and prostaglandin I already mentioned is secreted from the placenta and stimulate the contraction of the uterine wall. So similar function from the oxytocin, but the site of secretion is differ. Oxytocin is secreted from the brain, but this prostaglandin is secreted from the placenta. Okay. Another, and then also high and then another hormone is relaxin. This one is repeat, but another hormone is relaxin. It is secreted by placenta and ovary. Normally is to relax the pelvic ligament and also widen the cervix in preparation of parturition. But the most important one is in essay question. Most important one is estrogen, progesterone, HCG, and also oxytocin. These 4. And also this one 5. Fetal adrenal corticotropic hormone. Okay. Okay, final I go to the parturition. Okay, parturition. Okay, so this process is the birth process. The mechanism of the birth process. This is a very final, meaning that this process is the baby want to coming out already. It is a another book in Campbell. It use label, but in our syllabus you use parturition. Okay, so this is a process that the baby is already want to coming out from the mother's body. Okay, so there are 3 stages you need to know: dilation, expulsion, and also placenta. The first stage is dilation, second stage is expulsion, the final stage is placenta. So okay, we will see the stage one by one. Okay, so this is the dilation stage. Okay, so this one is already dilation, meaning that your cervix is become more dilate. You want to the cervix muscle is becoming dilated because it want to provide a space to provide the lubang, the hole, in general term, hole or space to let the baby coming out. If not, the cervix is closed, very tight. If it is very tight, wah, sakit loh. Memang sakit sangat lah. Kalau tak, you will not have dilation stage. You imagine that baby this big boy, big baby, big size, want to coming out this only one small space only awak tahu dah. Hanya satu lubang yang kecil-kecil macam ni je. So dia dilation, dia kena extra start to make the hole more bigger, as big as possible, so that the baby can be coming out more easier and more smoothly. Kalau tak, kalau terlalu kecil atau terlalu sempit, terlalu small, you imagine that satu baby ni nak coming out kecil-kecil lubang tu, sakit tak? Boleh imagine lah, sakit ke tak? So sakit tak? Boleh imagine lah, ada banyak orang nak pergi, banyak orang in supermarket, banyak orang nak lari out, lari, maybe got fire alarm, semua lah lari, tapi pintu shopping mall tu hanya kecil-kecil tu, tapi ada 1000 orang nak guna pintu tu untuk keluar. Boleh imagine lah, akan sangat boleh imagine lah, susah kan, sangat susah. Awak akan sakit kan, kerana terlalu ada banyak orang, awak akan jatuh, maybe akan jatuh, awak kena push to each other, memang sangat sakit. So yeah, so this one is very important step. The first step is your cervix need to be dilated. So it typically last about first 8 to 10 hours. The take 8 to 10 hours. So the contraction of the uterus move the fetus toward the cervix, cause the cervix to dilate. So dia kena besarkan lubang tu. So cervix become effaced, that is, it thins out so that the fetal head can be passed through. And amnion usually will be ruptured and release about a liter of amniotic fluid which flow out through the vagina. Okay, so I already mentioned, right? So in the early stage, your amniotic fluid will be ruptured. So who will cause it? Estrogen, right? You're not mistaken. So not estrogen, oxytocin. So this hormone is play the role cause the amnion to be ruptured. So positive feedback mechanism will be operate during the birth process. So oxytocin is very important hormone during the parturition process. So during the parturition process, you need to mention about the oxytocin, about the stage like this stage. You need to mention about the oxytocin first inside the parturition stage. Okay, so as the baby push against the cervix, a reflex action cause the uterus wall to contract, and then this contraction force will against the cervix again, resulting in another contraction. So this is a positive feedback cycle again and again until the baby descends through the cervix. So meaning that your baby, dia akan keluar, dia nak starting to keluar, dia akan push, cause the cervix akan jadi lubang dia jadi besar because it dilate. So when the baby push against the cervix again, this one will cause the reproduction to cause the uterine wall to contract again. Dia kena uterine wall play the role in pushing the baby out. So when the contraction head against the again, dia akan stimulate the uterine wall to contract again, so that the baby akan keluar macam ni sampai dia macam ni. Sampai dia macam ni. So this one, when the baby head is already coming out, this one we already cause expulsion stage, and this is very the most painful stage in the parturition. This one, dilation stage, is not very painful yet, but it's already very painful compared to the normal pain. But compared to this expulsion is the mostly painful in the parturition process. So in dilation stage, although it's not very painful, but you see that it lasts for 8 to 10 hours. Dia kena tunggu, dia kena, maksudnya dia kena sakit, itu perempuan tu kena sakit sampai 8 hingga 10 jam. Although dia tak sakit sampai expulsion state, tapi sakit ni pun dah sakit lah. You imagine lah, awak nak sakit sampai 8 jam boleh ke tak? Maksudnya ada orang cubit awak sampai 8 jam boleh ke tak? Dan itu kesakitan tu lebih teruk daripada cubitan. So boleh imagine lah. So boleh imagine itu kesakitan lah. Okay. So in expulsion stage, so this is a maximum intensity of your uterus contraction, meaning that this one is your uterine wall starting to contract in maximum intensity, want to totally push your baby out from the uterus, from the vagina, totally want to push out already. This one is just that you want to push out, just that your head is coming out only. Want to dilate your cervix so that your head can be coming out. When your head is coming out, so your uterus wall starting to totally push out your baby from the mother's body. From the vagina. So the fetus pass through the cervix and vagina and is born. So this stage is already delivered. Your baby will totally deliver out. Okay. So in uterine contraction, the woman will bear down so that the fetus is expelled by the combined force of uterine contraction and contraction of abdominal wall muscle. So this one is just the situation. So you will see drama, you know that the woman during pregnant, dia akan bearing down dan kaki dia kena angkat kan. Awak kena angkat kaki awak so that it more easier process lah compared to awak duduk je. So memang awak kena baling dan kaki awak kena tegak punya. Okay. However, but in this stage, your baby is still connected to the placenta and also by the umbilical cord. So I mentioned about the wire. You will see drama ada satu wire macam tu, satu tube macam tu punya dekat baby. Okay, so contraction will squeeze much of the fetal blood from the placenta into the infant. So this cord is tied and cut and separating the child from the mother. So that is why during pregnancy, why got blood coming out because of this. Because your punya maybe you will break down, because this is a very maximum contraction process. So you will maybe to destroy the blood capillary of the fetus one. So that is why that you could have a blood. Okay. So this one is the final process. That is why that I say that got the wire like this, umbilical cord. This one in expulsion state, it will connected to baby, and then doctor will use the scissors to cut down this umbilical cord, so that baby will be baby akan pergi ke tempat lain lah, akan pergi ke doktor yang lain untuk jaga. But now the parturition not complete yet, no baby come out, then your parturition is complete. No, because your placenta is still inside your uterus. Your placenta is still inside. So doctor, the you need to remove this all placenta and also umbilical cord from your uterus. Okay, so so normally this one is already after birth, so normally it's about 30 minutes like that. And then the placenta and your fetal membrane are loosened and from the lining of the uterus by another series of contraction and expel. So uterus will also starting to contract again and then to release out all the placenta and also umbilical cord lah from the uterus. So from the vagina, sorry. At this stage, they are collectively called after birth because all the tissue are expelled from the vagina after the body has been delivery. So the baby has been delivered. So when the placenta and the fetal membrane are delivered from the status, the stage of labor or stage of parturition is complete. So these are all the 3 stages about the parturition, or we call as labor. In general term, it's about the birth stage process. Okay. So that's all for the sexual reproduction in human. Okay. Okay, so now already is 8:51. Okay, so we will take a break first. Okay, later I will enter the sexual reproduction in flowering plant at 9 o'clock. Okay, so see you later. Take a break. 是去玩哦。这不是去玩的，看风景也是去玩的嘛。
看风景不能理解为玩的，不是？
我觉得出远门去看风景不是去玩的，都去我不想去。他不是要你有做岛哦，你要去做岛，你要去岛，不要不可以。你要去岛哦，不要不可以。没有，你去那边可真没有东西。真的是新疆他们的文化吗？没有，真的是新疆他们的文化。家里是海鲜，我那边海鲜也靠海。 now I just now already finished the sexual reproduction in human. So now it's already 9 o'clock. Okay, I will continue to the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Okay, so in flowering plant topic compared to human more easy lah, compared to human lah, not very complicated because we only learn about flowering plant only. The other type of plant, the non-flowering plant, the sexual reproduction of non-flowering plant, we not learn. Okay, so but more easy compared to the human lah. So the most important thing before according to the syllabus, we will learn about the double fertilization and also the seed and also the embryonic development of the seed. But before we go to the double fertilization, the most important thing is you need to know about the flower structure. Okay, so this one actually you already learn in STPM 2 lah. So in flower, we know that in flower we also separate into the male and female, right? The general term is male and female, but in scientific term actually there are no such that male flower and also female flower lah. There are no such thing. But in terms of to let you guys to more easy to understand it, so we separate it become the male and female. So we know that stamen is we call as the male sexual organ. If you imagine that in human it is like a male sexual organ and couple is the female one, female part one. So in stamen there are two structures that you need to know is anther and also filament. And couple more complicated. Yeah, female is more complicated compared to male one. Couple containing many structure. It containing stigma, you contain style, and then you also have ovary and also have ovule. All these are about the sexual organ inside the flower. Okay, so yeah, this one is all them. So if you still remember that in male the reproductive organ in another name we call as microsporophyll, and then in female we call as megasporophyll. This one you already learned in SPM. I don't want to take time on this. You should know already. Okay, so if you still remember about the you still remember about the inside the anther is TVs. Inside your anther, they are containing microspongia, right? Microspongia, or another name is we call as microspongenium. Microspongenium. So inside the microspongenium, there are many microsporocytes, right? So this microsporocyte is the place to production of the pollen grain. You know that in male, the male sexual organ will produce pollen grain, and then in female, the final one is it will produce megaspore. Megaspore. So the initial structure of the male organ is the microsporocyte. And then the initial structure is for the female one is megasporocyte. Mega. One is micro, one is mega. Male is micro, female is mega. So this is a structure that you need to know lah. So we still stamen consist of stalk that call the filament. Filament and terminal structure is called anther. So anther is the place of the site to produce the pollen grain. So it containing the microsponglia. So inside the microsponglia there are many microsporocytes that I show you just now lah. Okay. So in female they are called couple. Another name is we call as megasporophyll. And then the couple consists of the slender neck we call a style. This is the direction to let the pollen grain to flow into the ovary. And then there are also the structure we call as stigma. This is a capture of the pollen grain. And then inside the ovary there consists of many ovule which the double fertilization occur at there. So more easy, I let you to see the diagram. You see this. There are megaspore, right? Inside the megaspore, there are megasporocyte. Megasporocyte is the initial structure, female organ structure before the double fertilization. Okay. Next, I need to explain about the life cycle of the plant. Okay. So compared to human, in human, there are no such thing that we can survive in the haploid state and diploid state along the life one. In human, we only have haploid stage along the life only. Diploid stage, only have a diploid stage along a life only. Mean we along the life containing 46 chromosomes. But in plant, more special because it have the lifespan we call as alternation of generation, meaning that it will spend their life in a multicellular haploid stage and also multicellular diploid stage. So at the beginning of the stage and after the further development of the stage, the chromosome number is totally different. So you still, that is why that they have double generation we call as sporocyte and also gametocyte. Now gametocyte is that it is a gametocyte generation, meaning that it only containing the chromosome number is only haploid stage. It is only containing gamete. Meaning that this is a spore, or the spore either is megaspore or microspore. After that megaspore or microspore, it will produce the gamete. So the megaspore gamete is the gamete for the megaspore is the ovary, and then the microspore for male is the sperm pollen gland. So they will undergo fertilization. They will form the zygote and form the sporocyte. Sporocyte is the plant that we see at the outside one. This is a plant that we see. And then this sporocyte, after that they will undergo the meiosis again, and then it will continue again and again. So this is what we say as alternation of generation. So this is special for plant only. Human does not have this kind of generation. Only plant have this kind of generation because they can survive at half of their life can survive in gametocyte, which is haploid stage, and another half of the life can survive in sporocyte, which is the diploid stage. Because why you need to know? Because in terms of double fertilization, you need to know this whole process. So you already know that in enter they're containing microsporocyte, right? Microsporocyte, and then this microsporocyte will undergo meiosis process to produce microspore, and then after that it will produce pollen grain, right? Pollen grain. And then inside the pollen grain, you still remember that there are two nucleus, right? One nucleus is generative nucleus, and another one nucleus is we call as tube nucleus. Right, tube nucleus and also generative nucleus. So they are their function in the double fertilization. So this is the male you want to produce gamete, and another one is about the female one. So in female there are megasporocyte. Then after that megasporocyte will undergo meiosis to produce megaspore. It will produce the megaspore. So for male it produce microspore, for female it produce megaspore. So this, if once the gamete is already produced, after that microspore will develop into the male gametocyte, which called as pollen grain, and then this pollen grain will undergo pollination to stick on the stigma of the plant. Okay, it will attach to the stigma of the plant so that the pollen grain was starting to move from the stigma along the style to the megaspore. for double fertilization process. Oh, sorry, music. Okay. Okay. So if I repeat again, maybe got music more to you. Okay. Okay. So you see, remember that enter containing microsporocyte. Right, containing microsporocyte, and this is the space place to site production of the pollen grain. So after that, it will undergo meiosis process to produce microspore. So this is the spore, the initial structure of the pollen grain. After that, it will develop into the pollen grain. At the same time, your female one, it containing megasporocyte. So this is the initial structure. It will undergo meiosis process to produce megaspore. So after that, the pollen grain is already produced. It was starting to stick on the stigma of the plant through the pollination process. So there are two types of pollination. Either is cross pollination or self pollination. So self pollination is that the pollination process is occur in if the same plant. But if it is the dark cross pollination, meaning that this is a process that occur between the plant, meaning that the pollen grain is flow throughout the another plant. Okay. After that, the pollen grain, once the pollen grain is already stick on the stigma of the plant, they will generate the tube we call as pollen tube. It will develop the pollen tube. So that the tube nucleus will go first throughout the pollen tube. Sorry. So the pollen grain will flow, akan bergerak, and then during the movement, there are two nucleus, right? As mentioned, pollen grain containing two nucleus. One is generative nucleus and one is tube nucleus. Generative nucleus and also tube nucleus. Tube nucleus. Okay. So once the pollen tube will be developed until it reach the integument of the plant. Okay. Once it already reach the integument, the pollen grain will starting to move, akan bergerak sampai dia nak reach the pollen megaspore. Okay, so once it reach the megaspore, there are two nucleus. So the tube nucleus, if not mistaken, double check. Pollen tube. Tube nucleus. Okay, the tube nucleus will be at the front. You still remember two nucleus, generative nucleus and also tube nucleus. The tube nucleus will be at the front first. Dia akan bergerak ke depan dulu dan ni. And at the same time, when the generative and another generative nucleus move along the pollen tube, it will undergo mitosis process to produce two nucleus, two sperm cell. And then this tube nucleus will be penetrate the integument of the megaspore, so that it can allow the two sperm cell can be fused into the megaspore, so that double fertilization can be occur. And then we know that in megaspore they are containing egg cell, right? At the middle one is we call as polar nuclear, and then this one is egg nucleus at the center, and another two, if not mistaken. More use this more easier. So you still remember, inside the megaspore they are containing 8 nucleus, right? So 8 nucleus, right? So at the top got 3 nucleus we call as antipodal cell, and then at the middle one is spinal nucleus at the center, and then at the middle one is we call as egg cell, and then at the lower part but at the side at the two side cell we call as synergic cell. pollen grain, the nucleus is already penetrate into the megaspore, or we call as embryosac, double fertilization will occur. So we know that there are two nucleus, right? Generative nucleus. There are two nuclei. So one nuclei will be fused with the egg cell to form zygote, and another nuclei will fuse with the central nucleus, polar nucleus at the center to form endosperm with the 3 end. So that is why that we call as double fertilization, because got two fertilizations occur at the same time. One fertilization occur at the egg cell to form zygote, and another one is occur at the middle part. It will form endosperm 3 end. So this one is called double fertilization, and after that it will develop into the seed. So this is a seed development. So this is the overall process about the double fertilization. Okay. So yeah, actually I already mentioned all the double fertilization. So this is just explanation. I repeat lah. Maybe some of you are not very. So the first step is about the pollen grain formation. So we know that pollen grain formation is formed from the microspongia. So this is a pollen sac. So you see this diagram. There are the pollen sac. And inside the pollen sac we containing microsporangia. So within the microsporangia there are many microsporocytes. So after that this microsporocyte, so sporocyte will produce the microspore, and finally it will form the male gamete we call as pollen grain. Okay. Another one is for female part is about the embryonic formation, which is a megaspore formation lah. Okay, so we know that in the ovule, for the female sexual organ in flowering plant is about the ovule. So ovule consists of megasporangium. Since now it's microsporangium, this one is megasporangium, will produce a female gametophyte. So this megasporangium has megasporocyte cell that will undergo meiosis to produce 4 haploid megaspore. But in female, similar to human, only 1 megaspore will be survived and other will be degenerating. So this 1 megaspore later it will develop divided again to form the embryonic sac, which are the gamete for the female one. So it will produce 2 egg nucleus, right? So you see that I already mentioned the upper 3 nucleus is about antipodal cell, and then at the middle one, the central cell containing 2 nucleus, and then the lower one containing 3 cells, but the middle one is recalled as egg cell, and another 2 at the side is recalled as synergic cell. So this is very important because I already mentioned double fertilization only occur at the central cell and also egg cell only. Other cell will be degenerating after the double fertilization process. Okay, this one is embryonic structure that I already mentioned just now. Okay, next we will go to double fertilization. So once the female gametocyte is already formed, we call as fibrocyte, and then the male gametocyte is already formed, we call as pollen grain. So this pollen grain later it will undergo pollination, either is self-pollination or self-pollination in the same plant, or cross-pollination or the other plant. The pollen grain will stick on the stigma of the plant. So once it already stick up, pollen tube will be developed. So you see that the pollen grain will absorb water, and the sucrose in the stigma will stimulate the pollen grain to germinate by producing pollen tube. So the pollen tube is formed so that the pollen grain so that the nucleus from the pollen grain can starting to move from the stigma to the ovule. So the pollen tube will elongate along the style and go toward the micropyle by the chemical attractment produced by synergy. So the arrival of pollen tube will cause one of the synergic cell die, and then they will provide the passageway for the sperm enter the embryonic sac. So I already mentioned there are two nucleus, generative nucleus and also tube nucleus. And then this generative nucleus will be divided to form two sperm. And then this tube nucleus will lead ahead. The two sperm move along the pollen tube until it reach the micropyle. So at here, micropyle. So the tube nucleus and two sperm will be discharged when they are near the embryo sac, and then this tube nucleus will penetrate the micropyle to allow the two sperm cell enter the embryo sac. Okay. So once the two sperm is already enter the embryo sac, double fertilization occur now. So I already mentioned many times. One of the nucleus will fuse to the egg cell to form zygote, and another one it will fuse to the central part of the cell, central cell polar nucleus to form endosperm with 3 ends. Yeah. So these two structures later it will undergo play the role into the seed embryonic development. So that's all about the double fertilization. So very easy, right? Because this one you already learned in, I think you already learned in SPM 2 lah. Just revision only. Okay. Okay, next I will proceed to the seed embryonic development in the plant. Or maybe I stop here lah. Okay, maybe too much thing to you guys. Okay, so maybe I stop here for today. Tomorrow I will continue to this and also continue the growth topic, and then we will end about this chapter for this chapter, and next week we will enter next chapter lah. Okay, so for today class, any questions so far? So if no question, then we will end the class today now. So tomorrow we will proceed finish up this chapter. Okay, so thank you for your attending today, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.